All right. So I wanted to share this video with you, and this, which he looks like right here, right? He could be of that descent of Moab or Ammon, the Chinese or Japanese, which even these Koreans are the same Chinese and Japanese. The Taiwanese are the same thing as the Chinese or Japanese. These are the sons of Lot. All right, now you got Israelites scattered amongst them. All right, but the actual main Chinese are Moabites, and the Ammonites are the so-called Japanese. All right. Once again, they've given them different names like Koreans, right? North Korean, South Korean. There's no such thing as a Korean. It's either Chinese, Moab, or Ammon, the Japanese. All right. But now this man here, he works in politics here in America, and he's about to say something about the meetings he's participated in. All right. So I'm just going to let it play.
When it comes to the influence of AIPAC, getting this last message out, when I used to work at the state capitol, I had to help schedule a panel that was happening in San Diego. And this panel included on its invite list, like the superintendent, like for down south in San Diego, members of the SD County Board of Supervisors, congressmen, state representatives, even invited were U.S. senators, all to this panel. And what this panel was, it was a very low-profile event hosted by Israelis at a Hilton hotel. I can't remember which one. It's been a while. And it was all to discuss October 7th. And keep in mind, when people tell you that it's pointless asking local politicians to condemn the genocide happening in Palestine at the hands of Israel, I want you to remember this. To remember what I just said. And
what did he just say? That the U.S. politics are confederate with the Edomites in the land of Israel. The small hat counterfeits, right? Which the Ammonites and the Japanese, and the Ammonites, the Japanese, the Moabites, the Chinese are confederate with these Edomites. Did we not just see? Let me get it. All right, so there's the Chinese, and I just showed you they fund America through bonds, right? Now let's get the Japanese. I just showed you that the Japanese, they have the most bonds of the United States, which means they dump more money into our suffering than any other nation. All right, so these Ammonites, all right, they're going to go into slavery with the Edomite under the Israelite. And look, see that image? See how they're Trump there? He's red. He's not white. They like to call themselves white, but they're not white. They're red. All right? And you can see the Ammonite, he's light-skinned, but he's brown compared to Trump. Trump is a red. The Japanese, he's like a yellow bone, a light brown. As light brown as his tie. You see? So now going back to the Psalm 83, verse 4, it says, "They have said, 'Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.'" All right. So this is talking about them going against the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Right? It says, "For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee." Right? The tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white race, and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs of Moab, meaning of that continent, Asia. Right? You got all kinds of different. Arab is a mix of people. All right. But the Ishmaelites are amongst those Arabs of Moab and the Hagarenes, which is another form of an Arab, an Ishmaelite. Gabal, which is an Edomite in that land, in the Holy Land, and Ammon, which is the Japanese, and Amalek, the small hat counterfeit that's in our land. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre and Ashur, the Hamites, and the Assyrians also is joined with them. They have holpen the sons of Lot, Selah. And this is why the Chinese and Japanese are the highest heathen to dump money into America for the funding of the oppression of the Israelite. See, so the Lord is going to do unto them as he done to all these Edom, the heathen that had us, right? What happened to Nebuchadnezzar? What happened to the kingdom of Babylon? What happened to Egypt? What happened to the Pharaoh of Egypt? All right. What happened to the Alexander the Greek? What happened to the Roman Caesar? Right? It all failed. It all failed. So what's going to happen with America is going to fail. And their kingdom is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. And the heathen, they're going to go into slavery under us. All right? It says, do unto them as unto the Midianites, which Moses and the Israelites slaughtered the Midianites at one time. And then the Gideon, all right, which was Zerubbabel, all right, also went against the Midianites. As to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor, they became as dung for the earth, meaning they died, right there on the ground, and then their bodies, go back to the dust. So let me pull this up. I'm going to cross-reference that verse. And it pulls up Numbers 31:7. And they warred against the Midianites as Yahweh commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. Right? And then we'll go to Judges with Gideon, verse 24. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all Mount Ephraim, saying, come down against the Midianites, and take before them the waters unto Beth Barah and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves and took the waters unto Beth Barah and Jordan. And that's what's happening right now. All right? The Lord has us raising up against these heathen, but not with swords. Back then, he used the sword. Judges 7 verse 25, and they took princes of the Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb upon the rock Oreb, and Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side of Jordan. See, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to celebrate our enemy's downfall, but it's not going to be by our sword. They were given a great sword. Revelation 6 and verse 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him, the so-called white race, that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, right? And that they should kill one and another, which you have World War I, World War II, World War III, and there was given unto him a great sword, which this final war, World War III, is going to be a nuclear war, right? Because it tells you at the end here, verse 15, it says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. So save us from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's what they're praying for, the rocks to kill them, so that they don't have to face Yahweh's son, Yahushai. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Right? Because the Lord's coming with great violence against the wicked and them that do wickedly. All right? And the other nations are going to be enslaved, as well as Edom under the Israelite. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Wa abab abal.